What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Saturday, November 11th, 2023, and I have an emergency update to share with you guys. Right now, it is 8:42 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States. And before I continue, I just want to say thank you to all of the U.S. veterans out there. Thank you for your sacrifices, for fighting for freedom so all of us can enjoy these freedoms we have living in America. So thank you very much. So I want to just read to you a statement coming from U.S. European Command. Apparently, there was a U.S. military aircraft accident in the Eastern Mediterranean recently. So this is dated today. So, on the evening of November 10th, a U.S. military aircraft conducting training operations in the Eastern Mediterranean suffered a mishap and went down. Out of respect for the families affected, we will not release further information on the personnel involved at this time. The cause of the training incident is currently under investigation. However, we can definitely say that the aircraft sortie was purely related to training and there are no indications of hostile activity. We will provide more information as the situation develops. So, this is kind of weird, guys. They're saying that it was a training accident that occurred, and they're not releasing information about the personnel involved. So I don't know if I believe this, but this is very concerning. I wanted to just update you on the situation with the volcano in Iceland. And we have an update from the Icelandic Met Office, and they're saying that there's a very, very high chance of a strong eruption on Iceland around Grindavik. So let me read to you the latest update from them. At 1800 hours today, on November 11th, a status meeting concluded between scientists at the Icelandic Meteorological Office, the University of Iceland, and the Department of Civil Protection and Emergency Management. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss the latest measurements of seismicity and ground deformation in the region of Grindavik. In addition to reviewing the latest geophysical models and hazard assessments from combined assessments of satellite imagery, ground-based GPS measurements, and seismicity, it was concluded that the ongoing dike intrusion represents a serious volcanic hazard. Okay, they're saying a serious volcanic hazard. From geophysical models of the dike intrusion, it is estimated that the intrusion is propagating upwards slowly, with magma thought to be 800 meters beneath the surface. The exact location of a possible eruption site is unknown, but the 15-kilometer length and orientation of the dike gives a good indication of possible sources. The overall assessment from the status meeting was that the likelihood of a volcanic eruption is high, and that an eruption could be possible on a time scale of just days. Based on the extent of the dike, magma could emerge from its southern, just outside of Grindavik. Therefore, the likelihood of a submarine eruption has also increased, so preparations must be made for the possibility of explosive activity. A hazard area has been defined based on the location of the dike as shown on the map. So here's a map, and this is the dike. Okay, this red line, this is the magma chamber. So they're saying explosive activity is very likely. Okay, explosive activity, significant eruption is expected. So this is very, very concerning. All right, we have to make sure we're prepared because this volcano could be huge. They're saying that the amount of magma in the chamber with this volcano is more than during the last eruption, which was in 2021. Okay, and the magma is only 800 meters below the surface. Okay, time scale of just days. So this is very, very serious, guys. We have to monitor this. I'm going to keep an eye on it for you. And here's a video coming from Grindavik, and it shows some of the roads here that have been destroyed by earthquakes. You can see massive cracks in this road here. Look at this. This is just absolutely insane. So the situation is very, very serious there in Iceland. 24,000 earthquakes since late October. 24,000 earthquakes in the last few weeks, guys. That is absolutely insane. Okay. So this could be a massive eruption here, possibly explosive. We had a lot of C17 Globemasters going to and from Saudi Arabia. Late last night, they left from Ramstein and went to Saudi Arabia, and they flew back and forth. Here we have 5 of them. So not sure what's going on with that. Maybe they're moving air defense missiles into Saudi Arabia, more Patriot missiles to protect the oil fields, but 5 C-17s going to and from Saudi Arabia late last night, potentially more. This is just what I could find. But this is very, very serious to have this many U.S. military transport planes going from Germany to Saudi Arabia. And here you can see a close-up shot. They were flying over Hungary and Czechia. And also earlier today, we had a Polish presidential Doomsday plane fly from Warsaw to Tel Aviv. And what's interesting is it was only there for a couple of hours. It landed at around 13 or 1400 hours UTC time. And then just about 10 hours later, it went back to Poland. So I'm not sure what this was. It's very strange, but this is the Polish presidential Doomsday plane, the BBJ 2. It's very similar to the U.S. presidential Doomsday plane, with the exception that Poland doesn't have a nuclear triad that they could command from this plane. But the Polish president or Polish VIPs would be very safe on this plane. It's resistant to EMPs, and it has various types of countermeasures. So this is interesting. Benjamin Netanyahu made a statement earlier this afternoon. He said, I say to world leaders, do not give in to the pressure of minority groups in your countries. He said, no amount of international pressure will change our duty to defend ourselves. So strong words there from Netanyahu. And he's right, guys. All these pro-Palestinian protests we're seeing around the world, those are minorities, okay? They're like 10 or 20% max of the population of any given country, maybe even less, okay? And I do believe that God appointed Netanyahu to be in control of Israel for this time, okay? Because imagine if there was some kind of weak Israeli leader in power right now. I mean, they would just allow all these countries to have their way with Israel and attack Israel and take land away from Israel. But Netanyahu is standing strong. He's standing firm, and he's a really good leader. I wish we had a leader like him here in the United States. So God bless him. And he said yesterday that the Gaza Strip will be demilitarized as long as necessary. The IDF will continue to control the security of the Gaza Strip in order to prevent terrorism from it. So he's saying that the IDF is going to stay in Gaza as long as necessary to maintain control over it. And he also said he doesn't trust the international community to take control. So that's very interesting. So essentially, Israel's going to occupy the Gaza Strip, and I believe they're going to go into the West Bank after this. And I want to recap for you what the Israeli defense minister said earlier today while visiting the border with Lebanon. He made some very strong statements. He said what's happening in Gaza now could happen to Beirut if the attacks from Hezbollah continue. So he said Hezbollah is close to making a grave mistake. The residents of Beirut may end up in the same situation as Gaza. Absolutely strong words there. He said, what we do in Gaza, we know how to do in Beirut. Our pilots are sitting in the cockpit. The noses of the planes are pointing north. We have enough to do everything we need in the south, but the Air Force is directed north and its power is very great. We didn't use even 10% of the strength of the Air Force in Gaza. So, strong statements there, guys, from the Israeli Minister of Defense. And apparently, 2 drones were fired at Eilat in southern Israel. These were fired from Iraq. And apparently, a subgroup of the Islamic resistance of Iraq is claiming responsibility. And the Israeli air defense systems shot the drones down, so it doesn't look like they actually landed in Eilat. But just a few days ago, Yemen fired ballistic missiles at Eilat. Okay, they fired ballistic missiles, and Israel had to use their Arrow 3 missile defense system to intercept one of these missiles. Okay, this is the first time in Israel's history that they ever had to use an Arrow 3. Okay, the Arrow 3 is an anti-satellite weapon as well. It has a range of 1,500 miles. And so they're literally using anti-satellite weapons to intercept some of these missiles being fired at them. Okay, this is a very serious situation, guys. They're not using some, grad launchers or some kind of, old rockets. They're using long-range missiles to attack Israel now. Okay, Iran is giving these missiles to Yemen. The IDF spokesman Daniel Hagari said that there has been a lot of misinformation today, and he said that there's no siege on the Shifa hospital, and he said that the east side of the hospital is open for safe passage of Gazans who wish to leave the hospital. And he said that the Israeli military is speaking directly and regularly with the hospital staff. He said the staff of Shifa Hospital has requested that tomorrow they will help the babies in the pediatric department to get to a safer place. We will provide the assistance needed. All right, so there's a lot of BS out there, and there's a lot of Democrats jumping on the bandwagon of being anti-Israel, and they don't even research anything. They don't realize that half of the information coming out from Gaza is fake. Okay, all this crap about Israel bombing hospitals and Israel targeting civilians, it's all fake. Most of it is fake. Okay, it's specifically designed to make people think that Israel is the bad guy. All right, and they're not. They're defending themselves. They're actually doing a favor for us too, because they're getting rid of all these terrorists that are living and occupying this area. They have this tunnel network, and if Israel doesn't deal with them now, eventually they would attack us. You know, so they're doing everybody a favor, and you have all these people here in the United States that are siding with basically terrorists and attacking Israel, believing all the propaganda and fake news about Israel. So, don't believe that stuff, okay? And Japan is planning to deploy long-range missiles to deter a possible aggression by China or Russia. Japanese Prime Minister Kishida has expressed caution over recent joint flights of Chinese and Russian bombers over waters near Japan. Attempts to change the status quo unilaterally around Japan are intensifying. Rapid deployment of long-range missiles to strengthen the country's defense is necessary, Japan's Prime Minister Kishida said at the Aruma Air Base. And Germany is going to end the deployment of 3 Patriot missile systems in Poland after almost a year, the defense minister said in Berlin on Wednesday. And together with the Patriot systems, some 300 German soldiers have been based in the Polish town of Zamość, just 31 miles from the Ukrainian border. So this is pretty weird. They're suddenly pulling 3 Patriot missiles out of Poland now. Probably not a good idea. And we have some interesting footage coming out of Italy showing a lion roaming the streets near Rome. This is in the town of Latispoli. Apparently, this lion escaped from a local circus. So this is pretty crazy, guys. And I want to just update you on the sun. We currently have a geomagnetic storm watch in effect for a G2 class geomagnetic storm, which is like a medium class geomagnetic storm. And you can see we have some sunspots, but they're moving away from Earth, and there's no new sunspots coming. So we are rapidly approaching a solar minimum, guys. Okay, we just hit the peak a few months ago, and now we're just going straight down to the minimum. This is pretty unusual to see sunspots disappearing like this so fast after a solar minimum. Usually they gradually decrease until you reach the solar minimum. And what we're seeing here is like a strong drop off, basically, where sunspots are just disappearing. So we only have like two decent sized sunspots now. And then we have some smaller ones. But I mean, the whole sun is just blank after these rotate away from Earth. So that's the latest information that I have, guys. I will continue to monitor the situation with the volcano, with Israel and the Middle East, and with Ukraine and Eastern Europe. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Hit the bell icon so you get notified when I post these emergency updates. And other than that, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere. And this video is sponsored by NYPrepper Supply. Guys, we're living in very uncertain times, and you need to make sure your family has emergency food. When World War III starts, you're not going to be able to go to your grocery store to get food. Or when there's a power outage caused by natural disasters or cyber attacks. So you cannot rely on grocery stores to feed your family. You need to have emergency food. And NYPrepper Supply makes it very easy to prepare for these uncertain times. They have a 3-month emergency food supply, and it has a 25-year shelf life, and it's all contained within 6 rugged, water-resistant buckets, and you get a wide variety of food from dinners, lunches, breakfasts, drinks, snacks. So you're not going to get bored eating the same food every single day in a real SHTF situation. They also have a 2-week emergency food supply, which is a great option for camping. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get the 3-month or 2-week emergency food supply from NYPrepper Supply. There's a link in the description below this video. It's an excellent gift idea for a prepper. They also have a general store. When you go to that page, you click on their logo, and once you click on their logo, it'll take you to their general store where they have MREs, solar generators, potassium iodide, survival seeds, a whole bunch of stuff, fire starters, water filters. All of these are excellent gift ideas for the prepper in your family. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get the 3-month and 2-week emergency food supplies. The link is in the description below this video.